Yo, this video is about how I haven't relapsed once on NoFap. And this isn't a video to toot my own horn, this is just what I've done to abstain from fapping and watching porn. And hopefully I'll give you some tips and tricks so you could, also not relapse. But first and foremost, it's important to realize that relapsing is okay. It's okay to have a relapse. You shouldn't view this as like you're a complete failure if you relapse. You should allow yourself to mess up, right? No matter what you're trying to achieve. If let's say you're going to the gym and you miss a day at the gym, are you going to beat yourself up? No, because you've been making progress. So as long as you're making progress, and let's say you're fapping way less than you used to, that is something to celebrate. So celebrate their victories. But for me, I've been able to, since I quit fapping and couldn't quit porn, I haven't relapsed once, and that was 4 or 5 months ago. So what I've done, first and foremost, is I stopped counting the days. So I haven't even counted the days. I just said I'm not going to watch porn, I'm not going to masturbate anymore, I'm not going to release, and I just stopped. So I'm not so fixated on, okay, today's day 15, so these benefits come in, and this is day 30, so these benefits come in. So if you're counting the days and you're so obsessed with not relapse and don't relapse, I'm not obsessed with it. I don't even think about it most of the time. And if I do have urges, they come up and I let them be there and I go do something else to use my energy. But I'm not so fixated on the days. I'm not so fixated on, I'm on day 15 and oh my God, I have to keep going and I can't relapse. And it doesn't become an obsession, it just becomes who I am. Another thing that I've done is I changed my self-image. So instead of being somebody that faps, that watches porn, I told myself, and my image of myself is now somebody that doesn't watch porn, somebody that's disciplined, somebody that isn't a slave to his lust, that isn't a slave to sex and media that is shoved down your throat, that men should be masturbating all the time, or you should be watching porn. It's healthy to watch porn every fucking day and to masturbate every fucking day as a man, which is not. But my self-image has changed, where I view myself as somebody who doesn't masturbate, somebody who doesn't watch porn, and I get satisfaction out of that knowing I'm disciplined and I'm in control of my body. But don't take it too extreme where if you do relapse, you beat yourself up. The biggest thing is to have empathy for yourself and have love for yourself and accept if you relapse and be okay with it, because chances are you're probably going to relapse. And I might relapse. This is not saying I found the foolproof method, but for me, I just haven't relapsed. I haven't masturbated. I went on semen retention for a while, for a couple months, until I met the partner I'm with now, but I haven't masturbated once. And it just become who I am. I'm somebody that doesn't masturbate. I'm somebody who doesn't play with themselves, who's not addicted to sex, who's not a slave to lust. Big thing also is not judging yourself. And another big thing is to find other ways to use your sexual energy, especially if you aren't in a relationship or you're not seeing somebody consistently and you're doing like full-on semen retention. Because you're gonna have this built-up sexual energy, and if you're just doing your same old habits, I changed a lot of habits that I used to have. I don't play video games anymore. I haven't played video games since even before I started masturbating. This is a snowball effect. So I stopped playing video games, which is a waste of time and not a productive use of my sexual energy. And I stopped, binging. I never really had a problem with binging Netflix, or binging any sort of entertainment, but I do it way less. I do it more consciously. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this movie, but I'm not like, let me just numb my brain. Or I'm gonna read instead when I get home from work. Or I'm gonna do some yoga, or I'm gonna wake up and go to the gym. Do something physically to use that energy. It's okay, you're gonna have this physical energy, and if you're not doing something physical, if you have like a desk job and also you go home and you don't exercise at all, you don't have to do, bodybuilding or weightlifting, but going for a daily walk maybe, doing some yoga, doing something that you're using your body. And also, on top of that, using your brain and using your intellect. because you're also gonna have mental energy too that you want to get out. Because at the end of the day, if you aren't using your energy, you're gonna be the most vulnerable spot you're gonna be when you're on NoFap and semen retention is probably late at night when you're in bed and you're all alone. And there's nobody beside you, and you're tempted, and you're scrolling through social media, and you see a girl with a nice ass, and you're like, ooh, remember those days I used to masturbate, 4 times a day? I never personally done that, but I never really had a huge addiction to porn, but it was definitely something I needed to cut out to better myself. So you don't end up in that position where at the end of the day, you're all lonely and you have this sexual energy. Use that energy throughout the day. Make sure you're using your body. Make sure you're using your brain, you're reading. You're focusing on your purpose and your goals outside of your standard 9 to 5. If your 9 to 5 isn't your passion, then use that energy to take small steps towards your goals and your vision and your dreams. So these are some things that I've done to abstain from relapsing. I haven't relapsed once, and honestly, I don't give a shit. It's not this big feat. It's not this big thing where now it's my identity. And I'm so obsessed with it. It's just who I am now, and I just accept it. I don't obsess over the days. I'm not obsessing over don't masturbate, don't do it, don't look at this, because I know I'm in control. My self-image has changed where I'm in control, and I don't need that release. And and also, if you're addicted to dopamine in other ways like social media, porn is the worst use of your dopamine, and it releases the most dopamine, and it's very addicting. But there's also other sources of toxic dopamine, like social media and other things like that, that if you don't limit or cut out, you're gonna crave that. You're gonna crave the websites, you're gonna crave the fapping and all that. So cut that out completely too. Anyway, these are some tips for how I have been able to not relapse once since I started NoFap. Peace.